10 things you should know about the German castle Neuschwanstein. What is the most famous castle in Europe? If you have answered Neuschwanstein, then you are right. It's one of the best known castles in Germany and is also referred to as the fairytale castle. The castle is located in Bavaria and was constructed by Ludwig II, who was the 19th century king. When visiting this impressive building, you will be in awe from start to finish. So what do you need to know about this wonderful place? Here are 10 things that you should know about the German castle Neuschwanstein. 1. Neuschwanstein is a Romanticist castle. If you look at the facade of the castle, you will see that it is surrounded by many towers. Many of the towers in the castle were built with a short spire. This was very common in Romanticist architecture. The architect, however, added the tall spire to the top of the central tower to make it stand out more and to make it appear more impressive. The rest of the castle was designed to look like a medieval castle. 2. The design of the castle was inspired by Lohengrin. King Ludwig II was inspired by the story of Lohengrin when designing this castle. Lohengrin is a character who was said to have come to the castle on a swan and brought a holy sword. The king decided to add a swan to the castle and make it the focal point. It is said that the king also had a crown that was very similar to the one that Lohengrin was wearing. Did you know that it was said that whoever wears the crown would rule the world? 3. There are many theories about who actually built Neuschwanstein. First of all, it is very interesting to note that no one knows who actually built this castle. The people who were working on the construction of the castle were under a lot of pressure to keep everything under wraps. They were not allowed to take pictures and were not allowed to talk about the project. King Ludwig II wanted to keep the project on the down low so that no one would know what he was doing and what his plans were. It is no surprise that many people think that Ludwig II himself was the one who built this amazing castle. It is said that because he loved the architecture so much, he decided to build it himself. Others believe that he did hire someone, but they were not sure who it was. 4. It took approximately 14 years to build this amazing castle. Construction of the castle was started in 1869 and concluded in 1886. It took 14 years to build this amazing castle. People who were working on the construction of the castle were under a lot of pressure to finish on time. They were working day and night to finish the project. This castle was very costly and it was not easy to gather all of the money needed for this project. They had to make sure that they had the funds to pay the workers each month and that they had enough money to buy construction materials. They spent a lot of money so that they could make this place look as authentic as possible. They wanted the castle to be designed in a way that would look like it was from the medieval period. 5. Berndes Fector Company played a huge role in rebuilding the castle. The castle was almost finished in 1886, but it was not complete yet. The king wanted to have a lot of artwork and beautiful stained glass windows. It was not easy to find the right people who could do the job. Ludwig II eventually got in touch with a company called the Berndes Fector Company. They were able to do the job. The company was very creative and they were able to create beautiful stained glass windows. They were creative enough to make them fit inside the architecture of the castle. These stained glass windows are probably the most impressive parts of the castle. During the day, they let in natural light so that you can see them better. However, at night they light up and become even more beautiful. 6. There are more than 300 rooms inside of Neuschwanstein Castle. Only a small portion of the castle is actually open for visitors. The rest of the castle is still used for different purposes. It is said that there are over 300 rooms inside of Neuschwanstein Castle. The king wanted to ensure that this place was grand enough where he could host dignitaries from all around the world. There are many rooms inside the castle that are designed to impress guests. There are also rooms that are designed for the king to have a quiet place to rest. There are also rooms where the king's servants could sleep. You can visit the different rooms inside of the castle and get a good idea of how the king and his entourage lived. There are many interesting rooms inside of the castle. One of the best rooms is the throne room. It is very colorful and has a magical feeling to it. 7. It is one of the most visited castles in Germany. Neuschwanstein Castle is one of the most visited castles in Germany. It is estimated that around 1.3 million people visit the castle every year. There are many tourists who come to Bavaria just to see this castle. This place is considered to be a must-see site in Germany. If you are visiting this country, you cannot miss out on visiting this amazing place. Neuschwanstein Castle is open for visitors from March to October. It is closed to the public during the winter months. If you want to visit the castle and get some great photos, make sure you plan ahead. It is recommended that you book your tickets at least 2 months in advance. This will guarantee that you get to visit the castle during your trip. 8. You can see Switzerland from the terrace on top of Neuschwanstein Castle. This is probably one of the most interesting facts about the castle. If you go to the highest point of the castle, you can see the Swiss Alps. According to some people, you can even see the Swiss Alps from the terrace on top of the castle. It may sound impossible, but it is actually true. One of the reasons why you can see the Swiss Alps from the terrace on top of Neuschwanstein Castle is because the castle is located quite high up. If you want to see the Swiss Alps from the castle, then make sure you climb to the top of the castle. 9. The king never had a happy ending and met his demise because of this castle. Ludwig II was not just a king but also a creative genius. He was a very creative person and had a big imagination. He dreamed of having this amazing castle built and probably never imagined that one day it would become his doom. He was a very creative person, but apparently was not very good at managing his finances. He was building and creating things that were not necessary. He wanted to create a perfect world for himself where he could escape from reality. He wanted to have a perfect place where he could live the rest of his life. He was building this amazing castle and many other things, but he was not keeping track of his finances. Eventually, Ludwig II had to abdicate from the throne and go into exile. He had to live out the rest of his life in this castle. He had no one to take care of him, so it is said that he spent his time collecting dust in this castle. There are many theories about the death of Ludwig II. One theory is that he died from an illness. Others believe that he died from eating too many sweets. 10. If you want to visit this beautiful castle, then make sure you plan ahead. Neuschwanstein Castle is open for visitors from March to October. It is closed to the public during the winter months. If you want to visit the castle and get some great photos, make sure you plan ahead. It is recommended that you book your tickets at least 2 months in advance. This will guarantee that you get to visit the castle during your trip. If you are visiting Germany, you cannot miss out on visiting this amazing place. The best time to visit Neuschwanstein Castle is during autumn, as the leaves change color and the weather is generally much cooler. Travelers should make sure they have the correct visa if they are visiting from outside of Europe, as a visa is required to visit Germany. If you want to visit Neuschwanstein Castle during the week, you can purchase a discounted ticket that is available for certain days and times. You can save up to 50% on the ticket price by purchasing at this time. During the discounted times, the Castle of Neuschwanstein is open to visitors starting at 11 a.m. The last entry is at 4 p.m., so you will have plenty of time to explore. Another perk of visiting during the week is that you won't have to deal with large crowds. Be sure to arrive early to get a spot in the parking lot and get through security quickly. Once inside, you'll see that the castle is open floor by floor. The tour takes approximately 1 hour and 15 minutes and includes a few stops, such as the Hall of Statues, the Throne Room, and the Grand Hall. The tour ends at the gift shop where you can purchase a keepsake to remember your visit by. You won't have to push through crowds of people or wait in long lines. This can make your visit that much more enjoyable.